Women that got karma on paternity court.
Don't start that nonsense.
Can I go to the...
When I gave you a chance to say something, you ain't had nothing to say. That's what we're not gonna do, because this is an important moment. You are not the father. I'm sorry, but I do see tears in your eyes in this moment.
I don't know.
Can you tell the court what you're feeling in this moment? You admittedly had sex with Mr. Conn that morning, but had sex with the other man that evening.
Yes, Your Honor.
We know that infidelity has the potential to disrupt relationships, and Miss Walker, having admitted her out-of-the-relationship escapades, leaves her boyfriend grappling with uncertainty. He appreciates her honesty, but is left questioning whether her 13-month-old son is his own.
I've loved her since day one. We were working together, and I've just been with her since then.
I can see that that means something to you to hear that. It makes you emotional,
Yes.
because you know he loves you very much.
Yes, Your Honor. I hate that we split ways.
And so there's a lot riding on today's results.
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Walker spilled the tea. She's been in this on-again, off-again thing with Mr. Conn for 6 years. But surprise, there's another dude in the picture. Plot twist. But poor Miss Walker hopelessly hoping that Bentley's daddy is Mr. Conn.
It's important to me because I want the best for my son. He deserves the right to know. I feel that Jerry is the best choice.
So you are admitting that there are other possibilities.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Conn has developed a relationship with your son.
Yes, they have a very good bond. They're so good together.
Let's talk about relationships. Miss Walker and Mr. Conn had their fair share of ups and downs. They split for 3 years, and Miss Walker found out her other man was cheating. Classic drama movie. But soon, she ran back to Mr. Conn. However, she was pregnant by then.
So who were you dating at this point? When you decide, I think I should take a pregnancy test, who were you with?
The other man.
The other man. You were with this other man,
Yes.
but you were also obviously sleeping with Mr. Conn because he wouldn't even be a possibility.
Well, if you had found out the other man was cheating, Miss Walker, you were probably doing the same. Now, isn't that a classic stage for some divine karma happening to you? Ah. Well, anyway, she decides to play a game of paternity roulette. Been with both men on the same day. Yeah, you heard that right.
My father was in the hospital. I was in a very emotional state of mind, and we hooked up, and then I found out my father passed and immediately went to his aid, or whenever I got back home, she wasn't there, so I just figured she went back to the other guy.
So you left again, Miss Walker?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now we're getting into the feels. Mr. Conn was all emotional, claiming Bentley as the potential heir to his legacy. But Miss Walker's got doubts and was playing the who's the daddy game. They were both hoping for a happily ever after. But you can't just deny the reality, now can you?
November 17th, you admittedly had sex with Mr. Conn that morning,
Yes, Your Honor.
but had sex with the other man that evening.
Yes, Your Honor. It's not something I'm proud of.
Whoa.
Both the plaintiff and the defendant had the last grain of hope remaining. They suspected Bentley might have scoliosis, and Mr. Conn was sweating bullets, thinking he might have passed it down. But wait, we have Dr. Samantha for some clarification.
38% of those cases are inherited from a parent.
Oh, wow. That's huge.
That is huge.
That kind of lends itself to the potential that Mr. Conn could be Bentley's biological father, since he has the condition.
That's a distinct possibility.
With that being said, we were at the climax. The DNA results were in the envelope, and the atmosphere got thick with anticipation. What's it gonna be? Will Bentley officially be Mr. Conn's mini-me, or are we in for a paternity plot twist? Court was in session, and it was time for the truth bomb to drop.
Mr. Conn, you are not the father. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
Miss Johnson and her mom entered paternity court, alleging that the defendant had been a certified deadbeat dad. He never denied being the father of her baby, and everything seemed fine until 2 weeks ago, when he suddenly insisted on a paternity test.
So, Miss Johnson, explain to me what happened a couple of weeks ago.
My son was over his house. He was only over there 5 days, and he texted me like, you need to get your son, and I'm not getting him until I get a blood test.
Out of the blue?
Out of the blue, yes. And I have here some evidence too.
What kind of evidence?
A message.
So, out of the blue, Mr. Taylor texts Miss Johnson saying, "Get your son. I'm not keeping him until I get the DNA test done." And Jaden, the innocent 2-year-old, is caught in the middle of this Facebook soap opera. How about we ask the potential daddy for some clarification?
Actually, a week ago, me and my son was in the house playing around. I was told someone was outside. A girl told me she had something to tell me about my baby mother. She said Ms. Johnson told another girl that Jaden wasn't mine. So I inboxed Ms. Johnson and told her I don't want him another day.
But wait, Mr. Taylor didn't just step into the battle zone without any preparation. He also came along with evidence you wouldn't believe. How about you get a look into that before we move any further? Buckle up for some new type of confession.
You have a recording.
Yes.
That's not your baby. That's not your baby. You right. That's not your baby. Somebody else the daddy. Somebody else is the daddy. Take him up off of your. That's what you could do. Take him all the way completely off of your. Period. Take him off. No, and I'm finna come get my own baby. How about that? That's mine. That's my baby.
Now we know where this whole case has been headed, right? Well, Miss Johnson, you know you can't unring that bell in a man's head once you say this. Talk about some instant karma happening to you. It's better time now you realize this.
So you know you can't unring that bell. I mean, you know, once you say that to a man, he's never gonna forget that. Men forget a lot of things. Right, Jerome? But they don't forget that. And honestly, how could they? So you know you have a part to play in fueling this doubt, right, Miss Johnson?
Yes.
So, Miss Johnson, you know that you have a part to play in fueling the doubts of the defendant. But anyway, to support her claim, Miss Johnson pulls out a list of medical similarities that the child has in common with the defendant.
This is just basically his eczema that he has.
Okay, the child has eczema?
Yes.
Okay.
Heart murmur.
And a heart murmur, yes.
And a heart murmur.
If you look at,
Just like Mr. Taylor has. Taylor also.
And you believe that these are two medical issues that the child has in common with Mr. Taylor?
yes.
Well, now we've stepped into medical expertise. So how about we call in the professional to shed some light on the developing case of paternity? Let's just find out if these medical similarities are hereditary or not.
There is not a genetic link with heart murmurs. The majority of heart murmurs are innocent heart murmurs, meaning they're just changes in flow. They come on with either a newborn right at birth, or they have, in an adult, they have something to do with pregnancy or things like that. So heart murmurs, you know, for all of us that practice day in and day out, are not genetically linked.
Well, since we now have that part figured out, how about we focus on the DNA results? Because that's something which has a link with genes. So, now here's Judge Lake wanting to take the curtain off of this mystery.
You are the father.
Like I told you.
No. If you're not gonna, don't start that nonsense.
Can I go to?
When I gave you a chance to say something, you ain't had nothing to say. Now I read the result, you gonna pop off. Not in here.
Miss Cates chimed in, giving her 2 cents to the court about how she and Mr. G hit it off at the club. Now, he's denying her 2-year-old son, Messiah, all because of a little white lie she told.
I was at the bar, we met through a mutual friend, and we just hit it off. When I seen him, I just thought that he was the most handsomest guy I ever seen on this word, but.
And so how soon after you met at the club did you start a sexual relationship?
That same night.
Oh, okay.
All right, you heard that part correctly. The same night. But wait, trouble in paradise. Mr. G started to catch those shady signs, like mysterious text messages. And according to Mr. G, the baby mama wasn't all promiscuous until later in the relationship.
And she see text messages in her phone or whatever.
You have text messages in your phone too. Like girls be calling you too. Don't do that. Like
I'm
you
about to be
well
calling
known.
you.
You well known where we from, and girls be all over you. Come on.
Yeah, that's why you
yeah.
trying to pin that baby on me, because I'm popping with this music stuff.
All right.
Oh.
All right, Kevin.
I'm hood famous.
All right,
You
whatever.
feel me? Like everybody in my city know me.
That's right. Mr. G thought Miss Cates was playing him because he was hood famous. Miss Cates denied it and blamed it on his popularity. Then Sis stepped in, claiming she saw Miss Cates getting too cozy with other guys at the club. Talk about some real karma happening there.
What did you see, Miss Burns?
And she'll be in the club with this guy, that guy, and it'd be too close for comfort. You're not finna be all in this guy every time I turn around, all in his face. It was more than just dancing and all the extra. It was more than that.
How you weren't there, so hush.
It was more than that.
That's not what happened.
Well, we might have a feeling here that the baby mama just got caught cheating on the defendant. However, Miss Cates did admit to a white lie that she was seeing someone else while dating Mr. G. Oh, the drama! She insists the night Messiah was conceived, she and Mr. G were all in, with no room for the other guy.
Miss Kate says she knows without a shadow of a doubt that you are her child's father. However, she says she was intimate with somebody else. Is that who you think?
Yes, Your Honor.
I want to understand this. So how did you get away with sleeping with 2 men at the same time? How did you keep each of them?
Okay, I stayed 2 hours away from him, so that's how that happened.
But at some point, Miss Cates did drop the bomb claiming that she was pregnant. And that's where Mr. G's excitement goes on vacation. He doubts if he's the baby daddy. Or did Miss Cates inform the other guy?
Were you using protection with the other guy?
Yes.
Is you serious?
And why do you seem so sure she's lying, Mr. G?
If we wasn't messing around with no condom, I know she wasn't messing with him with no condom. Yeah.
So you said you two weren't using condoms. Why would she be using them with the other guy?
Correct. That don't even add
Good
up.
question.
Don't even add up. You meet a person that you really don't even know.
Mr. G, still unsure, talks about wanting a family for Messiah. Miss Cates clarifies that she's still into Mr. G, but it's complicated. Yeah, right. We can see that now, can't we? Well, anyway, here's the one last scoop on emotions.
I didn't tell the other guy because he's the daddy. I didn't feel like I needed to tell the other guy. The other guy is non-existent right now.
Because once you had the magical fun night, you never slept with the other guy again.
Right.
Man, she lying.
You was there.
No way. There's no way.
So now it's time for Judge Lake to pull the curtain back on the paternity triangle. It doesn't matter when you say she's lying, Mr. G. The one thing that matters to this courtroom is the DNA result. Let's see where to go from here.
Mr. G, you are not the father.
Told you so.
I'm sorry, Mr. G. I'm very sorry. I can see that hurt to hear. Can you tell the court what you're feeling in this moment?
Trey.
Mr. Campbell was here to prove he was the daddy of a 3-year-old named Zoe. But hold up, Miss Hopper's been doing some flip-flopping about who Zoe's real father was. Talk about trying 2 scoops in a single cup.
Miss Hopper told you that you were the father.
Yes.
And then changed her mind.
Yes. Every time we get into a fight, all of a sudden I'm not the father anymore.
So when you're doing fine, you're the father.
Yeah.
Then when you get into an argument, you're not the father.
Yes.
Miss Hopper, can you imagine the rush of emotions Mr. Campbell must have gone through? I mean, no doubt, you're standing in paternity court. That's probably karma happening to you. Let's find out what she has to say about this.
So, Miss Hopper?
I only told him there's a possibility. I've never told him that he was the father.
That's not true at all.
That is true. He knew that it was between him and my ex-boyfriend since she was like 6 months old.
Did she tell you from the beginning that it was you and possibly the ex-boyfriend?
No.
Mr. Campbell reveals why this DNA test was his only option. Being Zoe's dad is his ticket to righteousness. Like he's making better life choices because of her. But guess what? Miss Hopper, being insensitive to the man's needs, removes her ex from the shadows.
I was actually seeing both of them at the same time.
So this wasn't a cheating thing, this was a parallel thing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, this is what we want, the truth. Go ahead.
I just kind of thought maybe it was both of them. The day that they say she was conceived, I had seen both of them at the same time. So it's
same time, same day.
Same day.
So, Miss Hopper was playing a game of double dutch with her ex and Campbell at the same time. She confesses to seeing both guys on the same day Zoe was likely conceived. What a plot twist! Now it's a paternity roller coaster. And who's the real baby daddy?
How long did you continue this parallel affair?
For about a month. And then I was with my ex-boyfriend. He was pretty much there through the pregnancy. He was there.
Your ex-boyfriend?
Yes.
So he went to doctor's appointments?
Yes. And I did give him her last name, and he is on the birth certificate.
Mr. Campbell's mom, Miss Jonies, jumps into the ring with some Facebook receipts. She claims Miss Hopper messaged her saying Campbell's the dad. But she's doing a 180, saying she only thought he might be the dad. You could have left a mother out of this mess at least, jeez.
I'm Jason's ex. I'm the one who thinks he is the father of my child. And I said, okay, nice to hear from you. She said, thanks. We began to talk and, we had a conversation and everything. And I did ask her, I said, you really believe he is the father? And she said, my daughter looks like him. He is really the only possibility.
Things got confusing when Miss Hopper says Zoe used to look like Mr. Campbell, but now looks like her ex. What's the truth? Miss Hopper admits to some baby daddy flip-flopping, but it's all about the possibility. Hold on tight, because it's a wild ride of uncertainty.
You just testified in court that you always maintained with Mr. Campbell he was one of two options. Why would you tell his mother that he's the only possible father?
When I contacted her, I said I thought that he was the father. That's why I said
well,
I
the
think.
message reads, my daughter looks like him. He is really the only possibility.
The moment of truth arrives. The DNA results are about to be revealed. Campbell's hoping he's Zoe's superhero, but we're on the edge of our seats. Let's see how these results turn out to be. The court is about to drop the bomb, and we are all ears, baby.
Mr. Campbell, you are not the father. I'm sorry. I know you really wanted to be her dad. Ms. Hopper, I wasn't sure where you were in this equation. I could never get a read, but I do see tears in your eyes in this moment. What are you feeling?
I don't know.